Alright, what's going on, people? I'm here again with another video with me just kind of rambling on about rumors and random video game bullshit. So this one's kind of big here, I guess, because it's, yet again, it's more like Konami stuff and Silent Hill stuff and all that. But this time, a lot of this stuff has been corroborated by, like, people with actual credibility and not just, like, some random chick on what's that like? Is it Reset Era? I don't know. These shitty forums with all these like elitists that don't know how anything works in it, and all these like fake leakers. But um, so what we've got here is like another. This isn't the first time we've had this thing with Konami where it's like, oh, they're working on revivals. They're gonna bring back some of their like most popular IP, and this time, it's talking about Castlevania, Metal Gear, and Silent Hill, which is also not new. We've had these rumors before. It's just that now they've been corroborated by uh, resources such as VGC and Eurogamer, Gamatsu as well. So this isn't just like, out of the air. And honestly, I know a lot of people are skeptical and cynical about it, and they've got every right to be because this industry is incredibly fickle and spontaneous, even when it comes to people who've been following it for like decades, like I have. So honestly, it does make sense that these projects would be getting quote unquote leaked. And honestly, I a lot of this stuff isn't really like leaked by like rogue developers because a lot of the leaks are controlled leaks where it's just there to generate hype and keep certain IPs and certain games and certain terms in people's fresh in people's minds. And it would make sense that these projects have actually been in development for probably several years at this point because they would theoretically be on track for release either this year or next year or the year after. And I'm not just talking about like these, Metal Gear and all that coming out this year. I'm just talking about in general, like stuff like the Rockstar GTA trilogy that's also been kind of leaked lately. That's supposed to release this year. Um, but yeah, I think it's I've never been like a big Castlevania guy. I've never really been like a fan. I've played some of them, and it's just not really my kind of thing. But the Metal Gear project, I don't think anything's been kind of explained about what the Castlevania project is yet. Supposedly, it's just going to be a reimagining of the series, which is like, what does that even mean at this point? Castlevania has been kind of dormant for a while, at least in terms of like new games. So that's not really, you know, a big leap or whatever. Like that's not really a fantastical thing. That's hard to believe. The Metal Gear project, instead of being like a brand new entry in terms of like pushing the story forward, apparently it's meant to be a remake of Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater, which, I liked that game, so that's going to be interesting to see how they handle that. It's supposed to be in development at an external Chinese studio called Virtuous, who are apparently, they've been around since 2004. They're a big studio, and they mostly have done work with like assisting other studios with getting games ported over and running on modern consoles and things like that. Um, I don't know if they've made like original games. They probably have. I don't really know that much about the studio, but I think it's kind of funny that the studio is called The Virtuous when um, a lot of the marketing that went into Metal Gear Solid 3 was like talking about the Virtuous mission and stuff like that. So I'm sure that's just a coincidence, but that's kind of funny. But also, and beyond that, there's multiple. This quote unquote leak has said that there's multiple Silent Hill projects in development, which is also not a new thing. That phrasing and particular statements have been going around for the past few years that Konami's been having multiple Silent Hill projects in development. So, I mean, that's kind of neat, I guess. This rumor specifically says that one of the main project is in development by Kojima Studios or Kojima Productions, and The other one is, I guess, in-house, maybe? It's not really specific, but at least not what I read here. But, who knows? I'm just glad that it's not Bloober Team like some of the rumors have been saying. And I think, because Bloober Team, a lot of their stuff has just, like, been super generic, super not great. Their writing in particular has just been, like, super, like, hackney, like, oh, well, the whole thing was in their mind, and they had some really shitty takes on, like, mental health, which is, really problematic, but that's another thing. I'm not really going to go into that, but I was also one of the people who, years ago, when the whole PT thing happened, with that getting, Silent Hills getting canceled and all that, I wasn't, like, super enthused about a game being made by Kojima in particular, because he's never really been the type of director / writer who has been known for subtlety, which is a thing that that's like an important aspect of what makes Silent Hill kind of work. But if we're gonna be getting multiple games, I'm gonna play all of them because I'm generally a Silent Hill fan. I'm not a a fanboy that's like dick riding this nebulous concept of Team Silent, which, was never really like an actual thing. It was always just, those first 4 games were made by KCET, which was Konami Computer Entertainment Tokyo, which was a subsidiary of, they were a subsidiary of Konami, and they actually got folded back into, they got absorbed, is a better term. They got absorbed directly into Konami in 2005. So it was never like this giant group of people that all worked on the same games. It was just like different people from KCET were working on those games. And there was only maybe like there's no maybe about it. You can literally go look in the credits of each game. But it was only ever like a very small amount of people who worked on more than one game. And an even smaller amount who worked on 2 or more games. So, it wasn't like this kind of like all-star group that people like to romanticize and fantasize about. But, that's neither here or there. I don't believe that only like that non-existent nebulous concept can make a good game. But here we are. So maybe this is what several of the KCET people have been hinting about, because Akira Yamaoka and Masahiro Ito, they have both been dropping hints every now and then about potentially working on a new horror game. And gee, what horror game could it possibly be, right? So maybe they're working on the one that is actually in-house. So I don't know, but either way, I'm on board, because life's too short to be like jerking yourself off about like, oh, this wasn't made by these old people, this old group that never was actually like a real group, like, fuck off. That's why it's so goddamn stupid. But that's really the crux of everything. The summation. Konami is apparently working on bringing all of their, not all of their, but bringing back several of their top former IP. So that'll be really cool if that happens. If it's all gonna stay on track and come to fruition. I'm like stumbling over my words because I'm kind of sick right now, but not COVID, thankfully, but just a nice little cold. So that's really cool. Anyway, yeah, that's that's really it. I don't really have any hot takes besides what I've just said about Silent Hill. I'm down for some more Metal Gear and some more Silent Hill. So, Castlevania, whatever. I don't really care, but that's what's apparently coming down the pike. So there you go. All right. Everyone take care.